I studied 7 years in an Arab Jewish school. It's called Hand in Hand Bridge Over the Valley School. There's only 3 schools like this school in the whole country. And this school, basically what makes it really special, that it contains in its students Arab students and Jewish students, which is basically the 2 sides of the conflict, and which is supposed to be enemies and hate each other. But this school stand against war, racist discrimination, and bring, even though they came from different backgrounds and different languages and different religions, they believe in that school that we can actually build a coexistence and a good combination between these two. In that school you have Jewish and Arab students, Muslims and Jewish and Christians, who study, play, eat, and do exactly everything as a normal classmates or friends under the same roof. In that school, in the same class, you have 2 teachers, Arab teacher and Jewish teacher, who speaks in the 2 languages, and that's how you also earn more, learn more language from that school. So now I can fluently speak Hebrew, which is my 2nd language. I can speak Arabic, which is my native language, and can speak English. And after I graduated from that school, I understand how much it was really special, and it made me really have more confidence in myself, and it made me dare to say some stuff like, I want peace and fight for it, and to fight for coexistence and fight racist and discrimination. Last year in 2014, I went to a summer camp called Seeds of Peace, which is Seeds of Peace is an international organization that brings youth students from conflict areas to spend 3 weeks in a summer camp here in Maine. There was like about 8 delegation: Palestinian delegation, Israelis, Pakistanis, Afghanis, Indians, Egyptian, Jordanians, and others. At the camp, you have every day 2 hours of dialogue, where you basically discuss the conflict that you came from.
You are born Israeli, yet your heritage is Palestinian.
Yeah.
And in today's conflict, in today's world, that's got to be a very difficult combination. So how do you describe that to people, and where do you feel like your loyalties lie?
Well, that's a good question. And it's a hard one. I think my loyalty honestly stands in Palestine. In 1948, when the occupation really came, and there was lots of wars, and a lot of people were kicked out of their houses, including my grandparents. Some villages were where it was Palestine before. Some villages were get to choose between or leaving the land and just going to Lebanon, Syria, or other countries and just be refugees, or just to stay in the land and just earn Israeli citizenship and just turn to be Israeli citizen for that. And other villages, Palestinian villages before, unfortunately, they didn't get to choose. They were or kicked out, or if they resist, they were killed, or they were destroyed. All them houses were destroyed, and it was really horrible, and people, it was really hard time for my grandparents. I don't say that Jews don't suffer. They of course had the Holocaust, but we also had miserable occupation and wars, and it wasn't a really good time for us. And I think we do have the right also to have this land, because it's not just, if it was said in your religion that it is your land, then you have to take it from us. but it's also said in our religion that it's our land. But this is the point that all of people were fighting on, and I think it's the time to eventually stop all this killing and fighting for this point. I think we can live in coexistence and peace in the same spot as we lived in 1,400 years ago. Jewish and Muslims and Christians were used to live in peace, in coexistence in Israel-Palestine, what we call today, and it wasn't that big deal, and there were no fighting or hatred between them. They were just really good neighbors, and I think it's time to actually bring that time back to our generation, and I think it's my generation responsibility to actually go for these ideas and show the world that we really can achieve peace. Before in my community, the majority of people really hate Jewish and really want to be, you know, to get the land back, and they just hate Jewish just because they occupy our land. And I agree, I think we should not be happy about it, and it's a bad thing that happened to our grandparents. But on the other hand, we're also supposed to think about the future and what happened to our other generations if we were still fighting like that and not doing anything that could actually make a solution for us that both sides can actually understand. I think the thing that we must really fight for is the good things, and unfortunately in these times, not just in our conflict but also conflicts all around the world, there's good peoples that really fight for it, but they don't actually get to be heard by lots of people. So one of the really good things that we're doing in Seeds of Peace is speaking to the world and show them that if to dare to speak about peace and not to be afraid, because it is the right thing, and we should really not be afraid or shame of doing the right thing. We really need to change the way we educate our children and show them that we're really caring about their future by really raising them on love and peace, and show them that there's other ways that we can solve this.